So we were talking yesterday about the concept of hastarat panim. And when HaKadosh Baruch Hu was talking about, he was saying, V'yomo astir panai, and then aster astir. We know that many times when we have the same root coming up twice, for example, abete abidun, we know this from Avodah Zarah, regarding what is the Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah says, abete abidun is not mitzvah just to destroy the idols in Eretz Israel. It's also we need to root after it, to uproot it from its root, not just on the surface. Or the same thing when we say abete abidun regarding a man who married a non-Jewish woman, that not only you're going to be lost, your children are going to be lost. So it's rooted, that's it, you're completely gone. So maze aster astir, it means it's going to be, the hester panim is going to be so deep and so removed. And we need to understand how exactly what it is. And so we were talking a little bit about it yesterday. But one needs to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always present. However, is not always revealed to us. We were talking yesterday as well about the Baal Shem Tov, when the Baal Shem Tov says that aster astir means I will hide the hester panim. And the more I think about it, the more it petrifies me, that concept. Because if I say aster astir, it means it's going to be really deep hiding. So I could create something within me with yearning, with dveikus in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to really break those barriers between us and Ribbono Shel Olam. It's almost like a glass, like a reinforced glass. Okay, so I cannot take out, for example, a gun and shoot it and break it, but there are other ways to do it. So I use a bigger gun, I use a cannon, or So the same thing is there's such a hester panim. I would find this projectile, my soul to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a way that will be able to break away all the barriers, and that's what most people go by, which is a wonderful thing. However, it's very scary, the thought of what the Baal Shem Tov said, aster astir, that I would hide the hester panim. In other words, you're going to walk on in life and think everything is hanky-dory pikichin. It's all good. Not realizing the dire straits that you're in. And that is so scary. Very scary. For example, we were talking before about Yom Kippur and the Kapara Yom Kippur, and if you read in Seder HaAvodah, everybody, Seder HaAvodah. And Yom Kippur, your head is already like developing a little migraine headache from coffee. Your stomach is this, it's hot, people's breath, the whole atmosphere of Yom Kippur. Your feet are hurting, and the Chazan is like, just shut up already, It's like it's not opera here, and I'm hungry, hey, By the way, that's the advantage of davening Hanetzach Hama. You daven Hanetzach Hama, you get over it. 10 o'clock you're done. Then you come for Milcha. Later on at like 3. You have a whole day to rest. So, if you read it, what was Bet HaMikdash and how Judaism was different. Judaism was different when we had the temple, we had the Mikdash. And now that we don't have the Mikdash, there is a certain vacancy, there's a certain emptiness. Things are not the same. And of course there are ways to deal with this. And Chachamim, and with the great wisdom, gave us methods to give. But the problem is our attitude. We think that everything is substitute now. And everything is okay. Okay, so don't Bet HaMikdash. Okay, Bet HaMikdash. Korbanot, that's primitive. That's barbaric, We don't need korbanot anymore. It was just like, everybody, the Rambam says is to take away from people of Avodah Zarah. So we don't have Avodah Zarah. So mainly now we don't need korbanot. I heard this many times. Right? And to Today, tefillah is neshalma parim sfatenu. Hosea says that neshalma parim we pray with bulls, with our lips. We don't need that. Yes, sometimes we use it against Christianity when it comes and says, well, Jesus is your sacrifice. He's the ultimate. And I say, well, neshalma parim sfatenu. And, we pray and we don't, it's all nice but lemaaseh, our avodah is lacking. Our attitude, our approach to avodah is different. We act like nothing ever happened. It reminds me of the people in Pompeii. They knew the mountain is going to erupt. It is going to create a catastrophe. And eat and drink or tomorrow will die, They found people in bordellos, and, they were just going life as usual, drinking and alcohol affair. The mountain is going to explode. Take your stuff and go. Or, to people in troubled time, even in Europe at the time during World War II. You know what the Nazis in Machshimam, they say they're going to do to you. Run. Go to Australia. I don't know. Go to, Tierra del Fuego, South America, the south of South America, Go. What you sitting here? No, don't worry. It's going to be okay. The sky is falling, And that's the Hester Panim, and that's a very dangerous stage to be in. And what are we doing for that? I don't have answers for you. And I think those questions are greater than me. But I think if anything we should do, we should not at least pretend that everything is okay and we are doing like this and so on and so forth. Then we're looking for shortcuts and Mashiach comes. Don't worry, Mashiach will come. It's all to be good. I don't have to do anything. Let Mashiach take care of everything. He's the major contractor. He's the man. You took the concept of Mashiach and turned it into Jesus. That's what you do. But what is upsetting about this whole attitude that we have is the creation of a false reality. We create a false reality by saying and pretending and so on and so forth until this reality becomes real to us. But it's really false. Things are not okay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us signs upon signs upon signs upon signs. Tagid li, you're a moron, you don't understand what he's trying to tell you. I had this discussion this morning with somebody in Israel. He says to me, well, I hope that at least this winter we're going to have somewhat of a winter, because it has been already like 10, 15 years since we have a real winter in Israel. There's no rain, and the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee is like down to the Israelis are also so dumb. All right, there was the red line. Then you're going to say it's the upper red line, and then there is the lower red line. And then they created a new thing. Okay, now we're going to have the black line. And in the black line, there's the upper black line, and it's the lower black line. And below the lower black line is the point of no return. So, I said to him, it's very simple. The Torah says to us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, right? If you listen to everything I tell you, right? I give you the first rain and the last rain, everything at the time. It's Yevula, and there is, and everything is good. You don't have to bring, it's ridiculous to bring in tomatoes from Turkey to Israel. It's nuts. I said, Israelis like to think of themselves as being so smart, right? They have answers for everything. They know everything. We are the smartest nation. We are the best nation. They can't even get a good football team, but that's a different case altogether. That's they can't get their act together. For example, that's by the way what happened in 1973. They lived in a euphoria. Oh, we are the strongest. We are the biggest. Army, Air Force, and then they got a Zets in 73. They got a Zets. They live in a false reality. Today also, I'm afraid what's going to happen if there is a war in Israel with any one of those, thugs over there. I'm not quite sure with all the air forces and so on, Israel will be able to make it. Because they're living in a false reality. So that false reality is a problem. It's a problem to all of us. And things are not okay. So I said to this guy, so if that's the case, keep Am Israel, in the Jews in Israel should say, mandatory for everybody for, let's say, a year or two. Everybody keeps Shabbat. You violate Shabbat, you go to jail. No tarat mishpacha, go, I don't know, 100 push-ups, something like this. You don't give them, no, there's nothing. We all becoming religious. That's 1 year. It says also, you want to have peace, right? It says, V'natati shalom ba'aretz. I will give peace. You are not capable of giving peace. I will give peace. You can give a peace at the time of the land. You're not going to have peace. I will give the peace. In other parts of the world, that's the way it works. You know, I'll give you a little bit of this, you give me a little bit of that, we're making peace, hakol tov v'yafeh, you know, and now we're living together happily ever after. In Israel, it doesn't work like this. Let the Goyim understand that, and let the Jews understand that. That doesn't work like that. So you want peace. Okay. Go whatever I tell you, you do. I'll give it to you. So I said to him, if within 2-3 years that you kept everything, the kalage b'chamura, bate midrashot, tzniut, it's a national effort. Conservative reform, you know, go to Swaziland. I don't know, go somewhere. Find your in Israel. Everybody keeps. If it doesn't happen within 2 or 3 years that you have rain and you have prosperity and you have peace, okay, go back to do whatever you want. Give it a try. I mean, it's being so smart that you are. But no, they created a false reality, and that's the decline of a nation as a nation, and it's a decline of an individual as an individual when you live in La La Land. Even Swaziland is more real than La La Land. You know where Swaziland is? It's in Africa. And that's the problem. So that's why I keep saying to you all the time. We come in, we think we're paying our lip service to God. We pray in, we sing along. You know, what's a sing along? What is a good thing? They don't serve us beer in the shul. You know, well, it's a big sing along. It doesn't work like that. And that's the problem with false reality. Can you do me a favor, Tzaddik? Can you put the AC over there? So, comes Yom Kippurim, right? And we are still in the Ester Panim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here, and we don't see it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here now. And that's a very dangerous state that we have. And each and every one of us should say, listen, you know, Habibi, cut the baloney here. It's enough. It's enough. How many years, how long would I keep on going with this thing? I mean, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said it to me. And it can't be. It can't be that I'm doing the right thing, and you know, because I know that I'm not doing the right thing. And that's what it is. People do averot, and they do averot, and they do this, and they cheat, and they lie, and so on and so forth. Nothing ever happened, you see? That's why you tell them, I ate pork for the first time, I ate basar b'chalav for the first time. Guess what? No bolt from the sky came and hit me. Yes, you buffoon. Because that's in the Hester Panim. It's like this. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Adam HaRishon, right, you want, from this point on, you want food, you want something, you're going to cry to me. And then I'll give it to you. To the Nachash it says, Habibi, it says, Bezeat apecha tochal lachem. You have to work for it now. When you work for it, you have to pray for me, right? To the Nachash it says, Ke afar yeh lachmecha. You're going to eat ashes, dirt, anywhere you want. Besides Alaska, you know, in the tundras, you know, in the South Pole, no, there's dirt everywhere. There are snakes everywhere. They don't have a problem with food. They can eat anything. Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll give you this, but I don't want to hear from you. Lech mipo, I'll give you what you want. Lech. So the snake can say, I'm a tzaddik. Look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me a fire anywhere. I'm a tzaddik. But Lemai say, you're not. You're not a tzaddik. Because you know it. You know inside very, very, very well how good or bad are you. You know it. Which, who are you fooling? The other fools like you. It's like one flew over the cuckoo nest here. Jack Nicholson at his best. Right? Who are you fooling? God, you're not fooling. But you think you fool God as well. But that could be, you can be more further than the truth than that. So you need to really, I guess the Hester Panim is really has a twofold, you know. Once you realize, I guess, to be meyashav this, I guess once you realize that the Hester Panim is Nistar as well, then you understand that there is Aster Hastir, with the hey, not with the, right? Aster Hastir, that it's double Hester. So okay, so now that I got over this, now I could actually do what I need to do and create this spiritual projectile towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu and attach myself to it. Because if I don't realize the first, so I'm okay, you know, I'm okay. I don't need to have the spiritual elevation. And that's what happens. I hate to say it. It's like sometimes I feel it's like Haliteu la Rasha, you know. That's exactly what it is. We need to understand that. Look, Mechalel Shabbat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me Parnasa, I stop learning Torah, Parnasa, I stop putting tzitzit, Parnasa, everything goes my way. You have to start worrying about when everything goes your way. Because you means HaKadosh Baruch Hu just doesn't want to hear your tefillot. He will give you anything that you need in order to maintain yourself, so you could maybe at the end of your day make tshuva. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu right now does not want to hear you. Doesn't want to hear you. Vayishman Yeshurun Vayvat. They just got fat and they kicked the bucket. They kicked the bucket in which they drink water from. And we got to be very, very careful. Things are not okay. In Israel, Am Israel is great. We are better than ever. They make a thing, right? So the American says we're not quite sure the Israelis are going to be able to stand a war against Hezbollah. Right away, that was yesterday. Right away today, already. Oh, Tzal and the Tzarchanim are getting ready for beat Hezbollah in his own plane. But what are you playing here? Who are you fooling? The masses. Emperor's new clothes, Rabotai. It's the emperor's new clothes. And I can tell you this, I'm not a doom and gloom person. I believe in the ability to change things, the ability of good and to change, and so on and so on. But don't fall asleep on the wheel. Don't fool yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Because when you dare to lie to yourself, you would never even dare to think to lie to someone else. This is a very special Shabbat. You know how this Shabbat is called?
Shabbat Shuvah.
Shabbat Shuvah. Shabbat Shuvah and Shabbat Teshuvah. Shuvu le Hashem and have an answer for what you've been doing. It's a very special Shabbat. So when I said to you yesterday, you have to reach to the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, that's what I was saying that. He understood that need to become better and better and better in anything that you do. So B'schut Moshe Rabbeinu, especially this Shabbat, reach out to come back to Hashem. Understand that the gap in your existence, is there. And the fact that you build the stadiums in Jerusalem still doesn't make it up to building a temple in Jerusalem. And Jews should not be in Olympia, Olympic Games and winning medals or going to the Mondial. It's not for us. That's for the other people. That's not for us. We're different than that. We have a spiritual job to do. We can't go running around like a bunch of idiots. 22 people running after a ball. I mean, the big grown-up men wearing shorts, running after a ball, making millions. There's like, something wrong with this. I don't know what to tell you. Something wrong with that. Think about it. Everybody's getting excited. If you keep the ball, take the ball. Football makes more sense. The guy gives you the ball and you run with it. You don't want to give it up. In soccer, it's stupid. Or basketball, you get the ball. So why are you throwing it away? Just, keep it. All right, I got the ball. They're finished. End of the game. Go home. It's the stupidity of the people. But my kids claim that I became more American since I like football. I hate soccer. It's really boring. But anyway, there's things to learn. There's a lot of work to do, Rabotai. The only thing is, again, don't fall asleep. Wake up. Make a real change in your life, like one time and for all. One time and for all. Develop your bitachon in Hashem. Develop your communication with Hashem, with your emunah. Make Hashem a partner in your life. Like when you have a partner, you don't just do things on your own. You discuss things with your partner. I'm talking about business. Even in your home, you have a wife or a husband. You discuss things with them. It's not a tyranny. You don't run things by yourself. Make HaKadosh Baruch Hu a partner in your life. Examine everything according to His standards. Look for the seal of approval from God, not from people who are living in a bigger dream than you are. Remember the woman with the red dress? Mm-hmm. I know Kung Fu. Right? That's exactly it. We're living in an imaginary world. Connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because that's the only real thing in the world. The reality of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only real thing. Everything else is a fantasy. It's not the real thing. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.